Hey, it's Mark Andrews, and we're going to cover the 2022 CFOA Rule 5 through 7 tests. There are 20 questions. Let's get rolling. Question number 1. K 4th and 2 at the K42. K19 fakes a kick and runs to the 50-yard line. He is hit and fumbles. The ball rolls out of bounds at the K48. K52 hits R80 after the whistle. So the rule reference is 512, and 512 says a new series of downs is awarded. After a fourth down, a new series of downs shall be awarded only after considering the effect of any act during the down, except a non-player and unsportsmanlike foul. So what we have here is it was a 4th and 2 on the K42. They had to get to the K44 for a first down. He got to the 50, but then lost control of the ball, and the ball went out at the 48. It's still a first down. Okay, so they've got a first down. Now we take into consideration the late hit, the personal foul by K52 on R80. So that's a 15-yard foul that would be marched off from the spot where the ball went out of bounds, the K48. So we're going to have K 1st and 10 at the K33. Question number 2. K 4th and 7 from the K10. K33 punts the ball, and R12 catches the ball at the K49 and runs for a TD. During the kick, K52 holds R70 at the line of scrimmage. And there's a whole bunch of rule references here. This casebook study actually answers the question, so I'm not going to show it to you. Let's look at 823 first. 823 is the rule that says if an opponent of the scoring team commits a foul other than unsportsmanlike or non-player during a down in which a touchdown is scored, and there was a change of possession during the down, which we have, right? And such foul occurs after the change of possession, the scoring team may accept the results of the play and choose enforcement of the penalty on the try or subsequent kickoff. So this occurred before the change of possession, so we don't get that. So the other rule reference is 1051J, and 1051 says the following fouls have special enforcement provisions and options for the offended team. Fouls by K during a free or scrimmage kick prior to the end of the kick. And that is the 1042 exception. 1042 exception, I'm going to try to find it here real fast. 1042 exception is the exception that came in a couple years ago that allows for the penalty to be tacked on from the succeeding spot. And in this case, the succeeding spot would be the spot of the try, right? I've gone right by it. That's what I get for trying to talk in here. So here it is right here. The basic spot may, at the option of the offended team, be the succeeding spot for fouls by K during a free or scrimmage kick, other than catching any interference prior to the end of the kick, when K will not be the next to put the ball in play. So basically, it's saying if R retains the ball, then they can tack the foul on. Now, normally, that would be somewhere in the field of play, but since he scored a touchdown, it's going to be the try, and they're not going to have the option to take it on the kickoff. So the choices here are either R, TD, point after from the K1.5, or they could decline. Some teams do this because the kickers are used to kicking from a certain spot. So then we'd simply have R, TD, kickoff at the K40. So we have A and C are both true. The answer is E. All right, question number 3. A 3rd and 3 at the B36. A 16 is calling signals. B56, defensive player, runs up to the line of scrimmage and begins calling defensive signals loudly. Now, I wish this was a little more clear as to what was going on, but he does say that the defense is calling signals loudly. So we do not allow defensive signal calling to match the cadence of the offense. Generally, we warn first, and then throw the flag if it's done again. In this case, the loud signals are probably interfering with the ability of the offense to hear their signals. So this is called a disconcerting act. And this used to be a 15-yard foul, and they changed it to a 5-yard foul, I believe 2 years ago. They actually wanted it called more often. So it's going to be a 5-yard dead ball foul, and it will be a 1st and 10 at the B31. All right, question number 4. A passer can throw the ball forward to the ground immediately after receiving the snap to conserve time, but cannot throw the ball away to conserve yardage. And the rule references 752 exception. This is a new rule. It's bringing us in line with the NFL and NC2A. And basically, the new rule says it's legal for a player to conserve yardage by intentionally throwing an incomplete forward pass if the passer has been beyond the lateral boundary of the free blocking zone as established at the snap, and the pass reaches the neutral zone, including the extension beyond the sideline. So, the free blocking zone, 4 yards either side of the ball. Once the quarterback or thrower, passer has gotten outside of that 4-yard line, he is out even if he comes back in. So this is now false. Question number 5. K, kickoff, the K40. K12's kick is high and short near the sideline. It bounces high at the R40. R26 runs up and leaps and possesses the ball while airborne. After possessing the ball, he lands out of bounds at the R41. And we have a casebook reference of 619A. I'm not sure why we don't have a rule book reference of 619. 619 says, a free kick shall not be kicked out of bounds between the goal lines untouched in bounds by R. And that's the kicker right there. And then 619A, the casebook, the free kick by K is possessed by R1, who A is airborne and alights with 1 foot in contact with the sideline at his 26, or B contacts the sideline at the 26, completing the catch. In both A and B, R will put the ball in play 1st and 10 from its 26-yard line because R1 caused the ball to go out of bounds at the 26. And that's the case we have here. And it's vague. I mean, thank God this case is here, but I wish it was more straightforward in the rule book. And this conflicts with the idea of a player who is out of bounds touching the kicked ball. That is the responsibility of the kicking team, versus this situation where R is responsible for putting the ball out of bounds. I will also tell you that he states after possessing the ball, he lands out of bounds at the R41. Well, where he lands doesn't matter. It's where the ball crosses the sideline that matters. And, you know, I'm splitting hairs here, but just keep that in mind. You need to judge where the ball crossed the sideline to establish the spot of the ball. So the answer here is A, R 1st and 10 at the R41. All right, guys, let's move on. Okay, guys, stick with me on this one. It's a little tricky. A 4th and 3 from the B49. So they've got to get to the B46 for a first down. A18 fakes the punt and runs to the B40 and tosses the ball to A22, who muffs the ball at the B35. So now we have an illegal forward pass, right? The ball hits the ground and rolls out of bounds at the B38. B accepts the penalty for the illegal forward pass. So the rule references 752B, and it simply says an illegal forward pass is a foul. Illegal forward passes include a pass from beyond the neutral zone, which is what we have here. The interesting thing about the penalty for an illegal forward pass is it's from the spot of the pass. In other words, the preceding run is done with clean hands, they used to call it. So he gets to the yardage that he got with clean hands. And so the penalty for illegal forward pass is 5 yards, and it includes a loss of down. So 753 tells us if the penalty for an illegal forward pass is accepted, measurement is from the spot of such forward pass. We just talked about that. If the offended team declines the distance penalty, it has a choice of having the play counted at the spot of the illegal incomplete forward pass, or if the illegal pass is caught or intercepted, of having the ball put in play as determined by the action which follows the catch. Okay, so we don't have a catch here, so they don't have that option. They can accept or decline the penalty. They accepted it here. We're going to enforce the penalty from the B40, which will take it back to the B45. It was 4th and 3, so they've still achieved a first down, and in that case, the loss of down part of the foul is not under consideration. So the correct answer here is A, 1st and 10 at the B45. Okay, guys, I've just spent the last half hour researching this particular play, and I learned a lot, and I'm going to try to impart that knowledge to you. I hope I'm clear. I hope I don't ramble. Here we go. A, 2nd and 12 at the B42. A12 throws a pass to A87, who steps on the sideline before leaping in an attempt to catch the ball. B20 grabs the arm of A87 before he touches the ball. The pass falls incomplete. So there's several rule references here, and we're going to go through them. The first two questions we have to ask ourselves are: does A's action of stepping on the sideline constitute illegal participation? And number 2, if it does, and B grabs the arm of A87, who is illegally participating, does that constitute DPI? So let's go through it. 756D says a player who is eligible at the start of the down remains eligible throughout the down. So even though A was illegally participating, he's still eligible. And then 758B says pass interference restrictions on illegal forward pass begin for B when the ball leaves a passer's hand, which we have here. 7510 says it is forward pass interference if any player of A or B who is beyond the neutral zone interferes with an eligible opponent's opportunity to move toward catch or bat the pass. So that tells us that B has committed defensive pass interference. Now, illegal participation is nuanced. Prior to a change of possession, or when there is no change of possession, no player of A or K shall go out of bounds and return to the field during the down unless blocked out of bounds by the opponent. If a player is blocked out of bounds, he must return to the field at first opportunity. So you'll notice the lack of the word intentionally or unintentionally. It just simply says no A or K player can go out of bounds, period, unless he's blocked out of bounds. And then when we go down to Article 2, it says no player. So this applies to both A and B, or R and K. No player shall intentionally go out of bounds during the down and return to the field, intentionally touch the ball, influence the play, or otherwise participate. So the distinction is that A or K going out of bounds, whether it's intentional or not, constitutes illegal participation if they don't stay out of bounds, if they return to the field. So that's why a player stepping on the sideline inadvertently going up for a pass is guilty of illegal participation. But a B player doing the same thing, stepping on the sideline and going for a pass, is not guilty of illegal participation. He's only guilty of illegal participation if he intentionally did this. And I know that's, there's a lot of vagueness there, but that is the rule. So we have A12 stepping on the sideline, so he is illegally participating, and B20 grab does constitute DPI. So we're going to have an offset, and we're going to replay the down. Answer is C. Okay, question number 8. A 3rd and 4 at the B38. A28 runs to the B25 and is tackled hard by B27. So A28 has achieved the line to gain. Okay. During A28's run, B19 enters the field thinking his team has only 10 players, but does not participate. After being tackled, A28 taunts B27. Both penalties are accepted. So the 951A, that's the last rule reference, that's simply the unsportsmanlike conduct type of actions, and certainly taunting is one of those. I don't need to show you that. 376 says, during a down, a replaced player or substitute who enters the field but does not participate constitutes an illegal substitution. And that's a big differentiation, because legal participation is 15 yards, illegal substitution is 5. Okay, so remember that. If he runs onto the field, you've definitely got a foul, but if he just realizes his mistake and doesn't participate, it's just a 5-yard illegal substitution foul. 512 talks about a new series of down is awarded. And so it says, after a first or second or third down, a new series of downs shall be awarded only after considering the effect of any act during the down by other than non-player or unsportsmanlike conduct fouls by A, or any dead ball foul by B. Okay, is that all clear to you? So basically what this is saying is we've got a live ball foul on B19 entering, right? So we are going to tack 5 yards onto the end of A's run. So he's going to go to the B20, and the ball would be moved to the B20. Now we are going to penalize the unsportsmanlike conduct, and we're going to move it back 15. So it's going to be a first down because he achieved a first down during the run. So it's going to be A, 1st and 10 at the B35. Question number 9. K kickoff. K40 at the K40. K52 lines up with 1 foot on the K35, so that's 5 yards back, and the other foot on the K36. To be in a legal kick formation, no other K player can have a foot on or behind the K35, and K52 must kick the ball. The rule reference is 631B. 631B says no K player, other than the kicker, may be more than 5 yards behind the kicking team's free kick line. A player satisfies this rule when no foot is in or beyond the line 5 yards behind the free kick, behind K's free kick line. If one player is more than 5 yards beyond this restraining line and any other player kicks the ball, it is a foul. So, it's a fancy way of saying that all the kicking team, except for the kicker, have to be in front of that. Usually, it's the 35-yard line if they're kicking from the 40, and so K52 here is violating that part of the rule. So the only person that has the exception is the kicker. So this is a roundabout way of saying that K52 has to be the one that kicks the ball. So the answer is true. Question number 10. A, 3rd and 5 at the B15. So they're 15 yards away from scoring. A15, the quarterback, probably, is throwing the ball towards A88 near the end zone. He is pulled by B71. That's when he says he means A15, not the receiver A88. The pass bounces off of A77's helmet at the B19 and is caught at the B4 by A88, who scores an apparent touchdown. Rule reference is 7513, which deals with ineligible players illegally touching a forward pass. So it says an ineligible A player has illegally touched a forward pass if he bats, muffs, or catches a legal forward pass unless the pass has been first touched by B. We don't have any touching by B, so that exclusion is out. Now the question is, does the ball bouncing off his helmet constitute a bat, muff, or catch? And the answer is no. So even though it was touched by an ineligible player, it was inadvertent, and this is a touchdown for A. So it'll be A, TD, try it to B3. Answer is B. All right, question number 11. I like this question. It involves a lot of different rules and their nuances. A, 3rd and 7 at the B15. A11 throws a screen pass towards A21. B87 jumps and tips the pass at the B18. So B has tipped the ball. A66 is blocking B58 at the B12. Now notice the B12 is where he's blocking. He is, the line of scrimmage is the B15. So technically he is an ineligible receiver downfield. Pass falls incomplete at the B10. So what do we have? Do we have OPI? Do we have an incomplete pass, ineligible downfield, or OPI and ineligible downfield? Well, so the first rules reference is 757, which says pass interference restrictions only apply beyond the neutral zone. Remember that, new guys, remember this. Pass interference cannot be committed behind the line of scrimmage, on A side of the line of scrimmage, okay? And only if the legal forward pass, untouched by B, which we don't have here, in or behind the neutral zone, crosses the neutral zone. Pass interference restrictions are in effect for all A and B players until the ball is touched or the pass is incomplete. So in this case, B has touched the ball, so the pass interference restrictions are done. 759B, I think, spells that out. Pass interference restrictions on a legal forward pass end for all ineligible A players when B touches the pass. Okay, that's enough. That's all you need to know. You don't have to worry about the rest of it. 7512 says ineligible A players may not advance beyond the expanded neutral zone, which, as we know, is 2 yards, on a legal forward pass play before a legal forward pass that crosses the neutral zone is in flight. If B touches the pass in or behind the neutral zone, this restriction is terminated. So, because of B's touching, we do not have an ineligible player downfield, and we do not have pass interference. This is simply an incomplete pass. Answer is B. All right, question 12. K, kickoff from the K40. K7 kicks the ball. R19 muffs the kick at the R25. K82 catches the muff at the R23 and runs into the end zone. Do we have a TD for K? Is it kick catching interference? Or do we have K's ball 1st and 10 at the R23? Well, if we look at the rule reference of 616, first thing it says if any K player recovers or catches a free kick, the ball becomes dead. Okay, so we know that it's not a touchdown. This does not constitute kick catching interference. K didn't cause R to muff the ball. So what we have here is a touching by R, which allows K to recover whether it's been grounded or not, and the ball is dead at the point where he recovers the ball. So it is going to be K 1st and 10 at the R23. Guys, spend some time, especially you new guys, spend some time reading this. It's confusing, but it really covers the entire rule regarding kicks and when they can be recovered, and especially the kicks that are onside kicks. There's very specific rules. It's not just this one, but I'm not going to go into it. But know this part of the rule book. All right, here we go. All right, question 13. K 4th and 7 at the R10. K8 attempts a field goal. R23 partially blocks the attempt, which goes to the R7, where R56 muffs the ball, and it is recovered by K31 at the R8. And the rule reference is 513F, which says, when a scrimmage kick down ends with the ball in the field of play or out of bounds between the goal lines, a new series is awarded to F, the team in possession at the end of the down, if R is the first to touch a scrimmage kick while it is beyond the expanded neutral zone. Unless a penalty forget about that. And it also refers to 627, which again isn't relevant here. You can read it right there. So we have a field goal attempt, which is a scrimmage kick. We have R muffing the ball. So R has touched it, K recovers it, completely legal. So we're going to have K's ball at the point of recovery, 1st and goal at the R8. Now you may be saying, wait a minute, they didn't get to the line to gain. Well, once R touched that ball, that previous series of downs was complete. This is a new set. This is a new set of downs. So even though they didn't make the line to gain, they will retain the ball, and it will be first down. All right, move on. Okay, question number 14. A 4th and goal at the B6. A10 throws a legal forward pass to A87 that hits his helmet. Now, A87 is an eligible receiver. Okay, A66, who is ineligible, catches the pass at the B3 and runs into the end zone. So, 7513 tells us an ineligible A player has illegally touched a forward pass if he bats, muffs, or catches a legal forward pass unless the pass has first been touched by B. We had a question very similar to this about 5 questions ago, but in that case, the ball bounced off the ineligible player's helmet and was caught by an eligible receiver. This is the reverse. And so he has violated 7513 in that he caught a legal forward pass and there was no touching by B. So this is illegal touching. It's a 5-yard foul. It's also loss of down. So they don't get to replay the down. So it's going to be B 1st and 10 from the B11. The enforcement spot is the previous spot because it's a loose ball play. So that's why we're at the B11. All right, move on. Question 15. A 3rd and 6 at the B36. Under a heavy rush, A18 throws a forward pass toward A25. B66 bats the ball at the B40. A75 blocks B60 at the B30. The pass is incomplete. So we've got several things here. We've got A75 who would typically be ineligible downfield, right? He's at the B30, and the line of scrimmage is the B36, so he's 6 yards downfield. We've got a bat behind the line of scrimmage by B66, and we also have to consider whether B60's actions constitute pass interference. So the rule references 759B and 759B. We've already seen this one. Pass interference restrictions on a legal forward pass end for all ineligible A players when B touches the pass. However, it is not pass interference for ineligible A players to use hands. Forget that part. Basically, once B touches the ball, the ineligible A players cannot commit pass interference. There's a good rule. There is a good case article. Please read it. 7510E. 7512 talks about restrictions on ineligible players downfield. So ineligible A players may not advance beyond the expanded neutral zone. What is that? 2 yards on the defensive side on a legal forward pass play before a legal forward pass that crosses the neutral zone is in flight. If B touches the pass in or behind the neutral zone, these restrictions are terminated. So, because B touched it, we do not have pass interference and we do not have ineligible players downfield. We simply have an incomplete pass. Had B not touched it, we could have both offensive pass interference and ineligible players downfield. So, the answer is A. Okay, question 16. A 2nd and 6 at the A30. A10 hands off to A32, who runs to the A40. So he's past the line to gain, where he's tackled by B26, who has his hand on the face mask of A32, but does not grasp it. A32 complains to the line judge. When the line judge does not respond, A32 swears at him. So we know this swearing is an unsportsmanlike act. So the question here is, where do we spot it? What down is it? And so on. So 531 really deals with where the line to gain is established once a penalty is enforced. So it says the line of gain is 10 yards in advance of the ball's foremost point when a new series of downs is awarded. When a new series of downs is awarded, the penalties for all fouls, including non-player and unsportsmanlike, committed prior to the ready for play signal, shall be administered before the line of gain is established. The line to gain, the line to gain is established. The line to gain then remains fixed until the series ends and a new line to gain is established. What is that all saying? Basically, it's saying that we are not going to give them a first down at the A40 and then march off 15 yards back and have it be first down and 25. That used to happen, and the only way that can happen now would be if the A team had established a first down, chains are moved, everything's ready to go. We're basically moving into a new play, and then A commits an unsportsmanlike act. Then we're going to have first and 25. But that's not the case here. So we're simply going to march the 15-yard penalty off from the 40. It'll be, so that'll make it the A25. So it'll be A first and 10 at the A25. The answer is B. All right, question number 17. K 4th and 6 at the K48. K16 punts the ball. R16, remember that number. R16 signals for a fair catch at the R16. R16 at the R16. But the wind blows the kick away and the ball lands at the R23. R16, that's our man who gave the fair catch signal, blocks K52 in the back above the waist at the R26. Kick rolls out of bounds at the R28. So, 651 says any receiver may signal for a fair catch while any legal ball is in flight. Remember that. Anybody on the receiving team can signal for a fair catch. Any receiver who has given a valid or invalid fair catch signal is prohibited from blocking until the kick has ended. So R16 is the one who signaled for fair catch, and he is the one who blocked. Therefore, he has violated 651, the blocking portion of it. 216-2H is just the definition of a post-scrimmage kick foul. This fits the criteria for post-scrimmage kick foul. 216-2H states that if the spot of the foul is behind the where the kick ends, then the foul is enforced from the spot of the foul, and that's the case here. We have the ball going out of bounds at the 28. That would be our normal kick ending spot, but the foul occurs at the 26. So we are going. This foul by R16 is a 15-yard foul. So we are at the R26. We're going to go half the distance to the goal line, and it will be first and 10 for R at the R13. Okay, question number 18. K, kickoff from the K40. K6, in an onside kick attempt, kicks the ball high and short. R80 signals for a fair catch and catches the ball at the K48. And the rule reference is 652, which defines a fair catch. And then 651B is a case book, which is excellent, actually. So, it is a fair catch, and the ball is dead if any receiver gives a valid fair catch signal, as in Article 1, and he catches a free kick in or beyond the neutral zone to R's goal line. So, I'm not going to read the rest of it. This is a free kick. Now, the neutral zone on a free kick is a 10-yard area. It's from where the ball is kicked to the 10 yards beyond that. And that's considered the neutral zone. And so this fair catch by R80 is perfectly legal. And so they're going to end up with the ball first and 10 at the K48. Question number 19. A 3rd and 3 at the B25. A72 lines up as the fullback. There are 5 players numbered 50 through 79 on the line in formation. A12 hands the ball to A72, who runs to the B20. So, the real gist of this question is it okay to hand the ball to A72, even though by number he is an ineligible receiver? And the answer is yes. That's the only restriction on that number, is that he cannot catch the ball, but he can be handed the ball, and he can run. So 732B simply goes through the handing rule. It says no player may hand the ball forward except during a scrimmage down before a change of possession, provided both players are in or behind the neutral zone, and it is to a back or a teammate who at the snap was on an end of his line and was not the snapper nor adjacent to the snapper. So basically it's saying that a legal forward handing is legal behind the line of scrimmage to any back, and then the other rule reference is simply the formation requirement, which is at the snap at least 5 players on their line must be numbered 50 through 79. They stated that they had that, so this whole play is legal. So we're going to have A 1st and 10 at the B20. Okay, last question. Yay. K 4th and 10 at the K22. K14 punts the ball but shanks the kick. The ball hits the ground at the K25. So it's beyond the K22, right? And rebounds to the K20, where K51 recovers it and advances to the K35. Boy, we've had a lot of questions like this. You new guys must think this happens all the time. I've seen it happen once, and it wasn't even a ball bouncing backward. It was a guy running for his life. It was 25 yards away from the line of scrimmage and just kicked it about 15 yards, and was caught by one of the K players and run. Anyway, I digress. 623 says any K player may catch or recover a scrimmage kick while it is in or behind the neutral zone and advance, unless it's during a try. So that's exactly what happened. This was behind the neutral zone, and so he advanced beyond the line of gain. Right, the line of gain was the 32. He got up to the 35. So we got K 1st and 10 at the K35. Whew. Well, that's it for our 2022 CFOA Rule 5 through 7 test. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed it to some degree. If you like these videos, I make rules videos and I make game situation videos. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can do so by clicking on my picture on the upper right corner. Click the subscribe button when you get to the YouTube channel page, and then make sure you go down to notifications and click the gray notification bell. If you want to look at the other rules videos, click on the playlist on the left. Mark Andrews signing off.